Welcome, students, to the introductory lesson of the SAT exclusive course. I'm Abdulaziz Sharapov, your SAT coach and guide throughout your entire SAT journey. This is probably the first time you're seeing me, so let me give a brief introduction. For the past 4 years, I've taught close to 2,400 students. And in this entire time, I've seen many success stories and many failures. With my extensive knowledge on the SAT, I've crafted this entire SAT online program, the one that you are about to join. So let's begin with the introductory lesson. The goal for today is to understand what's included in the course and understand your expectations as students. What do you need to do in order to succeed? Let's begin. First, we're going to ask a very simple question. What is the SAT? Some of you probably know a lot about the SAT, but some of you may not even know what it means. The SAT is often referred to as the reasoning test. That's because it includes a lot of logic-based questions. Yes, there is the math section of the SAT, but those questions are not similar to DTM. They are logical math questions. There's an English section of the SAT, but no, it's not similar to IELTS. It's based on reading comprehension and understanding English from a logical perspective. So the SAT is different from other exams that you've taken. Luckily for you, the SAT, along with the GPA, are considered the most important aspects of the admissions process to US universities. So if you're applying to USA, SAT is a must. A lot of people will tell you, oh, but SAT is not required, it's optional. But you need to remember that thousands of people apply to these universities, and not everybody is selected. Students are selected based on their merit, their achievements, their competence. And the SAT is one of the factors that shows how valuable you are as a student. So yes, you absolutely need it if you're trying to win a full scholarship. Believe me, I've had over 100 full scholarship students up until now, and most of them have taken a high SAT score. The SAT is not just used in USA, it is used in other countries as well, like Singapore, Malaysia, Finland, Turkey, and my personal favorite, Qatar. Can you guess why Qatar is my favorite? You're right. I was accepted to Northwestern University, an American university located in Qatar, back in 2021, after graduating high school. Now I want to talk a bit about my university, because of course, I'm very proud of it. The year I was accepted, 2021, it was ranked top 29 in the entire world. I want you to take a moment and imagine what that means. Think of all the universities that you know around the world. Universities in USA, Canada, Russia, China, India. There are tens of thousands of universities around the world. For Northwestern to be ranked top 30, that's a great achievement. But not only that, from my major, media communications, Northwestern is ranked top 15 in the world. Plus, we are given the American diploma, the one that is given to students in the USA. That diploma is ranked number 1 for media communications in the USA. So yes, Northwestern is very prestigious, but it also costs a lot of money. It costs $60,000 per year just for tuition. That's the price of 4 gendras. So much money per year. Not to mention, accommodation is about $5,000 per year, which I understand. Our dormitories literally look like hotels. Luckily for me, I don't have to pay any of this money. I was awarded a $65,000 scholarship per year, which covers my tuition, accommodation, and my insurance. But enough about Northwestern. Let's talk about the SAT. When I started teaching SAT 4 years ago, nobody knew what it was. Very few students. But now, every high school student wants to take this exam. As a result, our country has accepted SAT in very generous ways. For example, you may have heard about the cashback system for IELTS. If you get IELTS 7 or higher, you'll get your money back from the government. It is the exact same thing for the SAT. If you score over 1,200 on the SAT, you will receive full 100% cash back, meaning you took the exam for free. This saves you 1,400,000 sum. But not only that, universities in Tashkent began accepting the SAT as well, like Westminster and Turin. With just an SAT and IELTS, you can get accepted to these universities without any entrance exam. This is a great plan B for a lot of students. Here is a picture of someone holding money. Guess who it is? This is our student, Firdaus, from 2021. Back when they first introduced cashback, he sent me this picture saying, "Mr. Abdulaziz, look, I got my money back." And this is good proof that the cashback system actually works. And yes, you too will get your money back after scoring above 1,200 on the SAT. So how can you get a high SAT score and also receive cash back? Let's take a look at the test format. In 2023, the SAT introduced the digital format, and everything changed from there. Now we have 2 modules for SAT English and 2 modules for SAT Math. Let's start by talking about the SAT Math modules. Both of them are identical. They include 22 unique questions, and you are given 35 minutes per module. In total, that's 70 minutes for 44 questions. If you get all 44 questions correct, you'll score 800 points. This is very achievable. In fact, most of our test takers, they score between 750 to 800 from math. Now let's talk about the English modules. English consists of reading and writing. But don't worry, when I say writing, I'm not talking about writing essays. The writing section is actually just grammar. So I like to call it reading and grammar. In total, you'll have 54 questions for 64 minutes. If you get all 54 questions correct, you'll score 800 points. Now, I would like to emphasize the if, because so far, no Uzbek student has taken a perfect English score. In fact, our student, Izoza, was closest to getting a perfect score. Last year, she achieved 790 from the English section, and right now, she has the highest SAT English score. But who knows? Maybe you will be the first Uzbek student to get a perfect 800 score. So how can you be prepared for the new digital format? Let's take a look at your total preparation time. Our course lasts for 4 months. Within these 4 months, you will have 48 lessons for SAT English and 48 lessons for SAT Math. After every single lesson, you'll be given about 20 to 40 questions from that exercise, meaning you'll have easily over 1,000 practice exercises. And that's just the start. Over time, we hope to add more and more exercises as well, reaching 2,000 to even 3,000 exercises. Not to mention, you will also be given mock exams. Mock exams are also very important for your preparation. And that's why we've included 6 mock exams throughout the entire course. Remember, it's not just the mock exams themselves. You will also be given feedback after every single mock, with explanations for each of your mistakes. SAT vocabulary is also very important. Remember, if you don't understand a word on the exam, you might make a mistake. That's why we've included 400 words that have appeared on the past SAT exams. Let's take a look at the average SAT English lesson. Each lesson will first start with a mandatory compulsory video. This video will explain the concept of the day. That concept might be modifier placement, sentence structure, rhetorical synthesis. Whatever it is, it will last between 10 to 30 minutes. After you're done watching this video, you will have exercises that you need to solve. For every single concept, there are 20 to 30 exercises. As you solve each exercise, there will also be explanations for each exercise. And if you don't understand those explanations, you can contact one of our mentors. We have mentors working 24/7 that will explain you the question. The SAT math lessons are very similar. It starts with the concept video, afterwards you have exercises, and in case you don't understand the exercises, you can contact one of the mentors. Similar situation. Let's take a look at our total preparation time once again. As you can see, we have about 16 hours of SAT math lessons and 16 hours of SAT English lessons. When it comes to our exercises, about 1,000 exercise questions will take you over 100 hours just to solve. Even the mock exams, they will take 16 hours each. And memorizing all of that vocabulary, easily more than 20 hours. So if you look at the total preparation time, it is well over 150 hours of content. Students always ask me, is 4 months enough time for SAT prep? Don't think about it in terms of months. Instead, think about the hours of preparation. If you spend 150 hours riding a bike, you'll become professional at riding a bike. If you spend 150 hours learning how to cook, you're going to become a very good cook. It's the same thing over here. If you spend 150 hours on SAT preparation, you will get a high score. Let me tell you about our SAT goals. These are not goals for you, they are goals for me as an SAT coach. I believe that any coach that doesn't set personal goals is not a very good coach. So my personal goal is getting each student to score at least 1,350. Now, of course, most of our students score 1,400. But if I see any student who seems to be lacking behind, any student who might get lower than 1,350, I will let the mentors know. And those mentors will reach out to you personally and make sure you achieve a good score, helping you out in ways that you are struggling. Another goal that I have is getting each student to think and reason like an English native speaker. Because the SAT is made for native speakers, you need to think like one in order to get a high score. Luckily for you, I'm actually a native speaker. I grew up in New Jersey, USA, and lived there for about 9 years. That's why I have this American accent. That's why I think like an American. And I believe that's very important. Your SAT coach should also be a native speaker. How could a person who learned English teach you an exam for native speakers? But that's not the only reason why you should think like a native speaker. In the future, you're going to go to USA. And there, everyone already is a native speaker. If you can think like one, it'll be very easy for you to adapt. I take my SAT goals very seriously. And let me give you an example of how. These are our students from SAT Generation 1, my very first SAT students 4 years ago. They studied for the exam for about 5 months. And in May 2021, they each scored over 1,390, with some of the students scoring 1,430, 1,460. Each of them received above 600 from the English section and 750 from the math section. And all of them were amongst the top 3% of test takers. Not in Uzbekistan, but in the entire world. Think about what that really means. Top 3% of everyone. That means we're comparing to students in India, students in UK, students in USA, students in Russia. Being amongst top 3%, that is very impressive. It was actually at this moment where I considered, I'm actually pretty good at teaching. Let's launch SAT Generation 2. Then we had Generation 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and all the way up until now, SAT Generation 16. Here are some of the results that we have gotten in the past 4 years. Here we have Firdaus, our student from SAT Generation 1. He actually retook the exam and got 1560. And with this score, he was accepted to Cornell University, located in New York, with a full ride scholarship.